Okay. I believe all systems are go. One more double check of a few settings, and yes. Okay. Okay. And, I, uh, one moment. Let me just be right back. Okay, everything should be good. Um, uh, uh, um, Today's stream is going to be about my top 100 my top 100. Oh my gosh. Been a long day. Top 10 video games. And we're also going to customize my truck because I got a lot of money saved up for that. So we're going to get into that. We're just going to hop over there. And we're going to go into the Solvis, and we are going to actually let's Solvis it. So $200 repair or euro. I got 65,000 saved up. I really want to spruce this thing up. Get all the painted this, painted that, painted these, painted those, painted that, painted this to really make it line up. As well as do it with the trailer. I believe there's a few accessories on here I could actually upgrade. I don't know if the toolbox, I mean, I guess the toolbox is cool, but I don't know. What else we got here? Oh, we can upgrade the lights. I got that as high as it's, really this thing's about as good as I want it right now. I mean, I could, ooh, we got the wind deflector. Okay, we might do that too. But right now, let's take a quick look at what we got. Oh my, it's pouring. This is what we got at the moment. We got the shade paint job in my favorite colors, black, gray, and red. We're gonna get those, that gas tank, we're gonna get that painted over and a few other things. Let's see, where's the button? I need this one. There we go, now the rain stopped. Okay. And while we do this, we're gonna go to number 1 on my list, Minecraft. I know it's going to sound cliche and awful, but I love Minecraft. It is my favorite game. It's what I put my most time into. Ooh, yeah, I upgraded to a Allison 4500 bulb 4500R. So we got the retarder on the thingy where it doesn't let it do the thing over the RPMs. That, from what I can tell, that thing there is a major upgrade from this or this here, because this doesn't let the RPMs. It's called the retarder because it slows down the RPMs, so therefore we do not tear up the gearbox by having high RPMs. You know, when you start redlining, like if we take a look in here, when we let's see, that's the miles per hour. This is the RPM. When we start getting into like 25 and 30 RPM to 30 RPM, all in there, up above 25 RPM, we are actually tearing up the gearbox on the transmission. And this little doodad there actually regulates to make sure we do not go into the red. We do not redline like the anime movie or whatever the hell about racing or something. I don't know. It's like if Speed Racer was on crack. Weird show. Kind of reminded me of Dead Leaves. Different show. Anyway, yeah, my favorite video game was Minecraft. I've actually got a mansion. Oh my gosh, look at these paint jobs I've unlocked. I've actually got a mansion that I've put many. Hell, I probably put about a year's worth of my life into it, just building it. But yeah, Minecraft's my favorite. What else can I say? I mean, it's a great game. It's built on which one's better? Minecraft, you know, it's just a good game. It's very creative. You can do a lot of things. It's like there ain't much I can add to that. So I kind of like. I'm gonna leave that there because I like it. We can paint the windshield. I really don't see a reason to. Not at the moment. Let's add these deflectors or whatever I believe they are. Yeah, side deflectors. I could get the paint on the window. Actually, that's the paint on the window. This is the paint in between the deflector and that's in between the deflectors, I believe. Yeah, right there, that little thing there. We're painting that now. So that little red spot, yeah, that's good. We can add that onto it. We're gonna get this all painted all the way down. The wheel, the rear wheel covers gonna get fixed up there. And I think that's everything that I can paint. And personally, I like the stock on this. I don't know. Should I upgrade? I mean, it's $1,000. What is that? About $100 more. I mean, I should get a reimbursement. Don't I get a refund on that? No, I don't get a refund on that, strangely enough. Okay, we're gonna. Should we do chrome or paint? Let's just do paint on everything. Paint on that. The intake can be paint. We're just gonna paint everything. Make it all paint. Just MS paint it up. I want to add the Mirage top and Mirage bottom while we're walking on this. So we've got like a major upgrade on this now. Oh, we got to paint the mirrors. So the mirrors are painted. Everything's painted except for that thing, and I really don't care. I mean, I kind of liked having that there. I mean, it's like part of the logo almost. So I'm just gonna leave that where it was. And really, I kind of want to leave that, but I don't want to mess up the paint on that. This don't mess up the paint. The door handles would mess up the paint, the look of the paint that I want. So that's all good. I think I can actually upgrade. No. Well, there's a few upgrades. Nothing that I really care about, though. That Cirrus looks kind of interesting, but I don't really care. We're just going to leave it stock. I usually like having stock wheels. But moving to number 2 on my list of top video games, top 10 video games. Number 2 is PlanetSide. PlanetSide, the franchise PlanetSide, the whole PlanetSide franchise. I love that game. Drop that back to standard, and let's see what else we can really get. I think that's all we can really get on this that I was looking at. So I like that. I like that. Everything's painted that I want painted. And even things that I don't know how I feel about it painted, I have it painted. So the paint job is not disrupted in any way. So, and we may come back and add some lights on here in a minute. That way we can blind other people. But for now, we're going to spend 37 on this. Conform order. We're going to switch over to the trailer. There ain't really much I can do. Upgrade the lights. Switch the extinguishers for a toolbox, which I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about that. I guess the toolbox is an upgrade, I guess. Don't know why I'd spend money on it. The wind deflector is a major yes. We can get the exclusive on that. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool, but I never really cared about it. But I'm sure it'll look cool. So, whatever. We look cool. We cool. Anyway, number 2 on my list was PlanetSide. PlanetSide was a game. How do I describe it? I got it written down here. PlanetSide 1 came out in 2003. It was a first-person MMO sci-fi military shooter / strategy game. Let's see. Gotta conform the order. Now we can go back and get some lights on here. There's 3 factions fighting for the a planet. Control of a planet called Araxis. And what happened in that game is there was just large maps. Man, I just want to cover this thing in lights, just for the hell of it. Mark 1 lights all the way across, you know. Really, I should make like that the radiant light, but I don't like that. I do want to add the beacon, that thingy, just because, but I don't know how I feel about that with that on there, so. Oh no! Okay, I'll fix that. No, I'll fix it. I can fix it. But anyway, PlanetSide, you had like a massive map. Ooh, yeah, we need that, and I don't know if that can walk with this. Oh, good, it can. Oh, don't hit the X. But anyway, oh good, it added them back. Sweet. And Chrome 5. Just gonna do that all the way. Is there one on the sides? There's one's on the side. I don't know how I feel about those either. The side mirrors. Side marker. You know, I don't know if I really care about those. I mean, I've already put like $7,000 into this, but I mean, it's definitely upgraded the look of the front there. So it's pretty cool. I guess. Anyway, we're gonna conform that purchase, and yeah, it's just like. I mean, that's pretty badass. Oh yeah. I'd say that is like a major upgrade to the truck. Much more of the paint is visible, and since it was like a $40,000 paint job, it's definitely an upgrade. But anyway, we're gonna have to look for a job. On the job market here. Ooh, not the job. Yeah, job market, cargo market. For Ligma. Limoges? I don't know how to pronounce that. But PlanetSide, you could. When I say PlanetSide was a when I say PlanetSide was a tactical, it was like a tactical strategy, first-person shooter MMO. Everybody on the battlefield was a. I'm gonna tone down the rain because I'm afraid that's gonna be very loud and annoying. Everyone in the game, every character you shoot was a real person playing the game. You know, it was, every tank, every vehicle, every aircraft, every truck that was carrying supplies. There was a whole logistics part of the game. Just about logistics. I mean, PlanetSide 1, if you did not keep the base up to, if you didn't keep the base supplied by resupplying it at going back to like warp gates and gathering extra supplies and nanites, you would actually you'd actually run out of supplies. You'd run out of nanites and you couldn't respawn there anymore, and basically they'd basically overrun you. I'm not finding the weather. Weather. Would it be ambient? Really, it wouldn't be ambient sound, would it? Let's try muting that. Nope. I don't know which one's weather. But there was a sequel to PlanetSide that came out in 2012, like 9 years later, called PlanetSide 2. It was basically the exact same game, but major graphical upgrades. And they added where you could put attachments on your gun. In the original, you had like different vehicles. You had bomber aircrafts, fighter jet aircrafts, transport aircrafts. You would have troop transport vehicle trucks. You'd have logistics trucks. You'd have you had tanks. You had anti-aircraft vehicles. I'm about to just tone the master volume down a hair and call it a day on this. We're just gonna tone that down a little. Hopefully this works. Okay. Turn that down in my headphone. But and for classes in the original PlanetSide, your class was based on what you sold it into. You had to be certified to use certain equipment. Say we're going. Say you wanted to be a sniper, and you had the standard armor, but you want to be a sniper. You would certify into light armor, which would actually remove one weapon slot. Where am I going? Where is this pickup at? I don't know where this pickup's at. Is it H? What did I choose? Sand builder. Sand builder. Bro. Where am I going? That's my GPS marker. Bro. Oh, there we go. Wilnell Transport. Okay. I just had to go like literally across the street, but it confused the GPS and made a donut. But yeah, you would solidify into light armor. You would solidify into a bolt-action rifle, as they had longer range and a better scope, with more stopping power and all that. And then you would also like maybe invest into a cloaking device where you could go invisible, and it's just a cool game. Say you wanted to be in a you were in a group. Say you were in a guild, which in that game is called outfits. You would they say they needed a bomber pilot. You could actually invest in being a bomber pilot, but you had to invest into unlocking the aircraft. Ooh, no. I haven't played with the oh my. I haven't played with this in a while. I've been playing on controller. You invest in a bomber aircraft as your as one of your main investments. Then you'd invest in like maybe a repair engineering secondary, and maybe also invest in like light armor. That way you could fit in the aircraft, because heavy armor can't be pilots in that game. You may have to just hit the button to not do it this way. No. Oh, God. Man. I am going to be so glad. Tomorrow I am buying a steering wheel for this thing. And then I got to get a Bluetooth mouse to... No. I swear, if I don't get it this time, I am going to be upset with myself. But I'm going to buy a I put it in neutral. Oh, I had it. Oh, no. Okay. Good enough. We're doing it. Anyway, I'm gonna buy a steering wheel next week, or actually tomorrow, for next week. That'll make it much more easier. Maybe not quite as entertaining, but also hopefully I'll be a little more less scatterbrained than I am trying to review talking points, trying to drive with a keyboard and everything else. But anyway, PlanetSide was, you basically played the game, and as you played the game, you leveled up and you got certifications to use new equipment, and you use that equipment to, play better or more as a team. Woo, boy. You fill team roles. Like one person would be the medic, one person would be an engineer. This is getting more into PlanetSide 2, which was a lot of the same as PlanetSide 1. But, you'd have a medic, an engineer, you'd have your heavy weapons people with the rocket launchers to wipe out tanks while being heavily armored. Woo, boy. You tapped me. You'd have your infiltrators, which hacked terminals, so you could use the equipment in the base, but not the enemy who owned the base, and unlock doors, all sorts of stuff. Engineers repaired tanks. They were usually the vehicle operators, driving the vehicles, driving the aircraft, driving the armored troop transports. They'd be laying down ammo boxes so people could refill their ammunition. PlanetSide 2 was, oh my. PlanetSide 2, I can't do the gear shifts with my pinky. Was a lot faster gunplay. It was free to play, where one was a more of a PlanetSide 1 was subscription based, where PlanetSide 2 was free to play, where people bought things, but they could pay for a subscription and get like $5 every week or $5 every month and things, and unlock to buy cosmetics while also leveling up faster, basically. PlanetSide 2 added in a few interesting features over the years, like one of the big things they added right at the start was weapon attachments. You could add a flashlight, which would actually find the invisible snipers for you. If you shine the flashlight on a sniper that was invisible, you could find them. It would show, it would shimmer, you'd shine. They had different scopes you could attach. You could put slugs in your shotgun. I always made a sniper. I always turned my light assault with a jetpack into a sniper. I would float up on top of buildings with the jetpack, just shoot myself up top. I'd have a 4x scope on it for better. How do I? There we go. A 4x scope for a little farther range with a hand grip, a horizontal grip on the. Was it horizontal or horizontal? I believe. Vertical grip. Vertical grip on the bottom of the barrel for increased accuracy. Slug rounds, and I'd basically pop slugs. I'd get headshots with popping slugs out at people from rooftops they wouldn't expect a sniper from, at about mid-range. Okay, slow down, bro. Oh, God. Woo, boy. I thought I had that, man. Oh, that is wedged. No. Slowly. But yeah, later on they tried to get more players by adding like base building elements that people really didn't like. It really didn't belong in the game. They added in. They tried bringing back the logistics because they removed the logistics in the original game, and it didn't sit well with people. But they removed the logistics from PlanetSide. On PlanetSide 2, when they made it from going from PlanetSide 1 to PlanetSide 2, they removed the logistics. They kind of added it back in for the base building element that nobody cared for, and right now they made a whole portion of the game. They made a whole map based around water, and they added in boats a couple months ago. And everyone is freaking out. They're like, man, we wish we had this in PlanetSide 1. Woo. No. Squeeze me. Okay. Anyway. Hopefully that guy ain't dead, and he'll start to move in a second. And I think I am rolling. We're gonna move to number 3 in the list, Untold, a zombie survival game where okay, this guy ain't moving, he's dead. Untold was a zombie survival game that came out in 2017 for PC. Yeah, they're all dead. They're all dead. Oopsie. Anyway, we got minor damage, I think. Let's see this. Yeah, the cargo's fine. Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. Cargo's fine. Uh-oh. I forgot. Guess what? I restarted my keyboard. That means I can't touch nothing for a minute. Okay, there we go. I restarted my keyboard. My keyboard is Bluetooth. I lost all control for about 10 seconds. Sweet. Untold was a zombie survival game. It's kind of an indie game. Let's get this thing up to speed because we need to be doing 90 kilometers. And you spawn in naked. You find some clothes. You go through people's houses. You avoid the zombies. You get all the goodies. You get all the little you like find their hockey sticks to bash the zombies' heads in with, and they barely do anything. And you every once in a while you might find a revolver, some candy bars, a granola bar, hopefully a bottle of water. And you go to places like police stations to find like mid-level weapons. You go to fire stations to get an axe to chop down trees, and you can start building bases. And then you can do a little farming. You can like craft seeds from tomatoes, start farming. He recently added in quests like about 3 years ago. The game's been out for like 5 or 6 years. There's actually a lot of tactics to that game, because you got to sneak past the zombies and try not to let them, kill you. You got to sneak past the zombies. Ammo is very hard to find if you're playing on like the harder difficulties. You kind of just have to find what you can get. Sometimes you have to, military rounds are rare. The military rounds are basically NATO rounds, and then you got the Russian rounds that they don't say are Russian rounds, but due to history, Russia went, oh, NATO developed their own ammunition. Us in the Slavic states will develop our own version of the NATO round. That way, when they take our bases, they can't use our ammunition against us. Such a wise move. That's what they're thinking. So I'm curious to see how that rolls out with all the shortages and supply lines in the Ukraine war at the moment, but whatever. That's all very intriguing to me. Because, you know, you think, you know, you don't want people to use ammo against you, but you know, it's like, I don't know. But anyway, that was something that actually happens in Untoned. You can actually run out of ammo because you need Sultan ammo types for Sultan guns. Very hard to get Sultan types due to the rarity. You have to actually have to go to a military base overran by like military zombies in full, you know, body armor. Oh god, how are we gonna do this? How we gonna do? Slow. Okay, here we go. Don't ram it. Okay, here we go. But yeah, Untoned is a really cool game. That's why it's on my number 3. You need over. Number 4 is one hell of a mess. The Sims on console. We ain't talking about a franchise. We ain't talking about a single game. Boop. We be talking a video game franchise on a Sultan set of video game consoles. The Sims on console. For PlayStation 2 consoles, I liked The Sims Busting Out, which was basically The Sims on console. But I think there was actually a Sims on console, but I don't remember what it was. But anyway, The Sims Busting Out was like the sequel to The Sims on the console. Then there's Sims 2 on the console, and that's basically like The Sims Busting Out, except they skipped Sims 2, so they made The Sims 2 instead of like Sims 3. I don't know, marketing. And then this is all just, The Sims on console. They developed this interesting concept where instead of just living your life, you actually had to like achieve goals in life, which was really cool. For the Sims on console, you had life goals. Get a promotion, make so much money, get a Sultan skill up to a Sultan level. Say you're an artsy sim, it'll be like, get your arts creativity up to a Sultan level because you're an artsy sim. It'll be like, make friends with Tyrone, challenge Tyrone to a solve competition, become Tyrone's rival, piss off Tyrone. Oh man. Loan installment. Oh god. But moving on over to, but there's another one on Sims on PlayStation 2. My final one on that one would be The Sims Castaway. Oh god, that is a good game. Imagine The Sims on a console where you have goals to achieve, and there's kind of like a storyline kind of built in for you. But you're shipwrecked on a tropical island. Oh dear God. And you're shipwrecked on a tropical island. So they added survival elements where you have to You have to find food. Like you have to fish, gather bananas and coconuts. You can actually trade the bananas with orangutans or chimpanzees, one or the other, living on the island. And you can make friends with them until you find your other crewmates. That is, if you added any other crewmates, because you basically built your whole family. Your whole tribe is actually called a tribe in this game at the beginning of the game. And there's all these people you can basically meet on other islands. So you start out on a little island, you find another island, because you have to gather up enough wood to build like a little raft to go to the next island. And as you go along, you find little scraps of paper like a treasure map and nonsense. You know, you find out that there used to be an ancient tribe that lived on the island that worshipped llamas. You start out by building like a basic little bungalow shack, and you basically keep upgrading and upgrading. Or you start out with a lean-to. You walk your way up to the bungalow, made from, you know, hardwoods, because you start with driftwood and you start out with bamboo, then you move to driftwood, then you move to softwood, then you move to hardwood. So there was like a whole progression tree to the building, to how you built your house. You didn't pay for your house, you actually gathered resources for your house. So it was a great survival game. As you built more advanced campfires, you could build better recipes to cook better foods that would actually, like, you could develop energy drinks based on berries you found at the last island as you get farther into the game. Where in the first island, you were basically just stuck eating bananas and berries and coconuts and maybe the fish if you could catch it. You actually upgraded your fishing skill. Almost rammed that barrier. But yeah, that was actually also on the PlayStation Portable. I had it on both of them. I love that game. I still play it. I just played it like literally less than a year ago. I might play it again. But while still on the topic of The Sims, my number 4, we're going into The Sims Busting Out again, because they also made a Game Boy Advance version, which actually that was actually more story driven, and you had like the jobs actually had mini games that you had to complete you had to complete the mini games. So it was like The Sims. You had to take care of your guy, and the jobs weren't really requirements. The jobs were more like just, you know, oh, do you want to do this today within these hours, make a little extra money, so, and you know, you could do that. But really, it was like there was like a whole mystery to the town, and you had to solve it, and you upgraded. You moved out of your uncle's barn to a little apartment on the in the clock tower of a building. Then you upgrade to your own house downtown, and then eventually you get the mansion that the rich guy who only cared about money lived in, and you basically take his house from him somehow. He gets caught like embezzling money or something. He skips town. You buy his house from him for like $1 million is like the final goal of the game. Why the hell did it have me get off here? Did I skip my I must have did I do like that, or okay, I came from, oh man, I made a big boo-boo there. Let's see, can I like, no I can't. Yeah, I made a big boo-boo. Anyway, did I make a boo-boo? I think I made a boo-boo. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna tone around. I'm not paying these guys. Go to heck. That would have been the most expensive toll just to use a roundabout. Not doing it. But anyway, there's also the sequel on the Game Boy Advance for the Sims Busting Out called The Orbs, Sims in the City. So they like made that into a sequel for the Sims Busting Out, but it was actually something completely different. It was on the PlayStation 2. It was actually like Imagine Sims, but city living counterculture. And it had like some of the tracks were like redone by the Black Eyed Peas. It was weird. Cruise control set. Flipping through my notes. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah. Yeah. God. I said yee, and then I thought of that one idiot. He's a rapper. He used to actually be cool. I just started thinking, yeah, yee. Squeezy me yeezy. Yeezy squeezy. Yeezy squeezy my peasy. I gotta stop that before I get in trouble. Easy lemon, easy breezy lemon squeezy. Ain't got nothing on Yeezys. Okay, let's see. Portal is my number 5. The franchise, the main two games. Portal 1 and Portal 2. Portal 1 came out in 2007 for PC, and it was a story-driven puzzle game where you shoot wormhole-like portals to outsmart and escape from a homicidal, artificial intelligent computer system that is trying to kill you. I love that game. And it was really cool. On the second one, they actually made a song. I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, Portal 2, which came out in 2011, was basically the same game as Portal 1, except you're a different Paulson. You're actually Shell's mother. The first one, you're Shell. The second one, you're her mother, I think. Or that's the fan theory. You're a different Paulson. You know, you're the mother. You're going through the older portions of the facility, and there's you're going through different like areas of the facility, and except they added like new things. There's a sulfus property changing slime that's added to the puzzles. They also have like magnification lenses they added to the puzzles, but yeah. An interesting fact about Portal was the evil artificial intelligence system that ran the facility, GLaDOS. GLaDOS was actually voiced by an opera singer. So in the final sequence of Portal 2, the opera singer went and did in the final sequence of Portal 2, they did a song. They did like an operetta style song, like they called it the Turret Serenade. No, not the Turret Opera. The Turret Opera featuring King Turret. The woman was an opera singer, and she got her friend, who is a composer, to actually write a song for her to sing, and then they went and took it, got a whole orchestra to play it, and she sung an opera song that they made for the game at the ending of the final, on the second game, because Valve can't count to 3. They thought they'd go ahead and give it the finale right then and there. They knew what they were doing. Number 6 on the list, Fable: The Lost Chapters. And the reason I say that instead of the original Fable was this came out 1 year later. It was basically an expansion to Fable, except you had to basically buy the whole damn game over again just to get the added expansions to the game. So, you know, it's 1 year later. It's the exact same damn game. It's just, you know, they got some, you know, they just finished the story. They basically just finished the story with Fable: The Lost Chapters. Anyway, it's a fantasy game where your choices affect the story and your character and other characters, and you know your actions have consequences. You know, they got in trouble because they touted the game as oh yeah, you could plant a tree in this game, and 50 years later it would have grown. Well, yeah, it gave you the choice to plant a tree, and then like at the second half of the game, the tree was grown. You start out as a kid, you become a young adult, then the time skip to middle-aged man, then the time skips to where you're old. That's basically what the game does. There ain't no actual time progression. It skips in the story, so they got a lot of flack for that, overhyping it. But yeah, you could there was choices of morality, based on, you know, concept of what is good and evil. You could sacrifice people to the satanic church, and it would give you more power. But the downside was your hair would turn black and you start out, you know, fair-skinned, pulsing, you know, little rosy cheeks, brown hair, you know. But as you became more evil, your hair turned black, you started to go bald, your skin started to turn to scales, your eyes glow red, and your horns start to sprout. You can still have a goatee, you can still have a little hair, facial hair. But if you were good and you gave all your money to the church, the good church, the Church of Abalon, which was the world, your hair would turn white, and you get long flowing white hair. You could have your hair cut however you wanted, but anyway, you could have hair, flowing white hair. You could, your eyes would glow white instead of red, or they tone blue. Your eyes would tone blue because your base eye color was green. Your eyes would tone blue, and I think they could glow, but I don't remember. But they had every set of armor. You had multiple sets of armor. You had wizardry armor because you could put skill points into magic, stamina, and strength. Stamina was more like a agile build. The strength, you became a big muscly boy. And magic, you could cast spells, and you could encrust your weapons with runes. So you could add runes, which were basically like mystic rune stones, like gems being put into the sockets, but it was rune stones. And they gave your weapons magical abilities like shock or whatever. Say you put shock into a sword, it would shock your opponent when you hit him with the sword, put shock into a warhammer. You slam the warhammer on the ground. I think it used to like do like a AoE effect. You know, there was different fighting styles. If you became a big muscly boy, you'd probably go with the heavy armor, which was plate mail. There's plate mail, chain mail, leather armor. Then you had a few special. Then you had wizard robes, and I think you had a bandit set. I think the bandit set was like a one-of-a-kind set. There's several one-of-a-kind sets, but the plate mail, the chain mail, and the leather armor all had a neutral variant, a dark variant for evil, so you could dress evil and scare people, or a bright variant to lighten up everything and make people happy and glow and be just all giggles to be around you. It had an interesting story. Sometimes I wish the story never progressed. You know, you eventually hit the end of the game and it's just over, basically. But it had an interesting story. I don't want to spoil that. That's something I refuse to spoil. I spoil a lot of things, but not that one. Number 7 on the list is Bushido Blade for PlayStation 1. Came out in 1997. Let me just flick on my blinker. My blinkies. And Bushido Blade. Oh! Bushido Blade was a sword fighting simulator for PlayStation 1. It was actually one of the first 3D games on the PlayStation. It was one of the launching titles for the PlayStation. It was one of the first 3D games like in console gaming history. I mean, there was some that like had 3D elements, like I think Sonic on the Genesis could like emulate 3D, but it was more like 2.5D. But this was like one of the first, like, oh, come on, bro, first like 3D console games, I think. Because I mean, at that time, like Doom was still like 2.5D gaming, where it emulated, it stretched images to emulate depth. So Bushido Blade was like one of the first 3D console games ever, I think. It was really neat how, say you're fighting, there's different weapons different fighters and different weapons you could choose, like just a couple of them. But like some of the weapons were like katana, Daikatana, or was it Daikatana? It might have been no, it was a Nodachi. I think if I recall, the Daikatana is a ceremonial blade. That's not supposed to be actually used for fighting, but I can't remember. Or maybe it is the Nodachi. One of them. Anyway, going on. There's the rapier, which was the Spanish style swingy sword. Lots of thrusting, you know, because you had the handsome man with the bandit mask like Zorro in there for some reason. Don't think people know who Zorro is anymore. You know, you had a guy with a sledgehammer. Another guy had a, you know, anyway, it was a sword fighting simulator, basically. Like say you hit someone in the arm. Say you didn't hit the head or you didn't hit the head or chest. Let's say you hit the arm, you winged them. Their arms sitting to the side, and they're holding the blade with one arm while their arms flung to the side because they can't move it because you've basically cut the muscle. Say you cut their leg, they're on a knee, You cut both their legs. They're flip-flopping around on the floor, swinging the sword with, like, you know, up over their head, because it got brutal. Oh, it got brutal. But it was a good game. There was a special mode in it called Hall of a Thousand Ninjas or something. It was slasher mode. Slasher mode, Hall of a Thousand Ninjas or something. You basically had 1,000 opponents, and you had to kill all of them without getting hit once. Oh man, brutal. It was brutal. They made a sequel to that game, but really, the first game was a tech demo. The second game had the actual story in it of what was really going on. It explained more of the story, but they messed up like technical things in the second one. The fighting wasn't as good, though they had better weapons. Sometimes hits didn't land correctly. It didn't calculate hits correctly, so there was some issues there on the sequel. Moving on the list. Oh god. Number 8, World of Warcraft. The life. How do you kill that which has no life? Oh god. I played that all the way through Cataclysm. When they added in Kung Fu Panda, I was out. I mean, serious. That was like, oh god. You couldn't bypass the starter island with Kung Fu Panda. The Kung Fu Panda expansion. I ain't even call it by its actual name. I'm still so mad at that. Anyway, World of Warcraft is an MMO based on the Warcraft fantasy strategy game franchise. I gotta shift down and not ram that guy. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Okay, I survived. Anyway, it was mainly fetch quests, lore, and then it had an in-game economy. You know, you had 2 factions. There was multiple races. Depending on which faction you're in, you had different races. I remember there's Horde and just off the top of my head I can remember. There's Horde and Alliance factions. The Alliance was humans, gnomes, wood elves. No. Which one was it? The wood elves, I can't remember which side they were on. They might have been the Horde. The Horde were more tribal, where the God, it was interesting. The Horde was supposed to be the bad guys, but really they were slaves who liberated themselves from the oppression of the Alliance, because the Alliance saw them as these barbaric creatures. Oh, ogres and minotaurs and whatever, the undead. Oh, we created zombies that some of them are still sentient. Yeah, just kill them all. No, they didn't take kindly to that. Yeah, so I mean, it was cool. You know, you had your races like human, minotaur, orc, wood elf, gnome, dwarf. Then you had your classes. You could be like a fighter, a mage, a rogue. I forget if it was. Let's see, sorcerer, hunter, shaman. There's different ones. The Horde had shamans. because they were tribal, where the more European-based alliance, the more European-like related, how they had the paladins. That basically was the healers, warrior healers, where, So there's a little bit of interesting things there, you kind of had to choose your side. But depending on which faction, you couldn't go into major cities that belonged to the other faction. There's some really interesting gameplay mechanics, actually, now that I think of it. Imagine like the starting areas. Imagine you're level 5 in a starting area for the Horde, and a level 90 Alliance character came into your starting area, your starting region. He could not attack you, but you could attack him. You could attack him. Of course, if you did, he could then attack back and then just smite you into oblivion. But let's say you go into a region, you're level 40, you go into a contested region, at any level into a contested region. You're any level, go into a contested region. It's a PvP area. You go into a enemy region, you can't fight them until they attack you false. Then you can smite them. But you better hope you're strong enough. Come on, get this thing up to speed. There's PvP, battlegrounds, dungeons, guilds. Me and my brother and a few of his friends from college had a guild. It's like the first expansion, Burning Crusade, was like a like a floating hellscape nether dimension sort of thing, where it's just floating islands filled with demons. That was pretty cool. The next expansion was Wrath of the Lich King, I believe. I really liked it, but everyone hated the Death Knights, and I will admit, Death Knights were OP, and it really messed up the meta when it came to PvP for certain things. Am I on the right track? Yes, I'm on the right track. I'm not doing good. Okay. We good. But yeah. Lich King was really cool. They added flying mounts and the ability to fly your own. Because before that, you'd have to actually have to buy a ticket on a chartered flight to get really far destinations away, or you'd have to have like a warp stone back to your home tavern. But one thing that they messed up in Lich King, I believe it was either Lich King, maybe it was Cataclysm. They removed the need for consumable items. Used to was like, you had a gun, you had to buy bullets, you had to craft bullets, you had to have bullets. It's like they removed the need for bullets. You could still craft bullets just to raise your level in engineering, but bullets were absolutely useless and weren't actually used for anything. So bullets were useless. They did that to a few things like archery. You didn't need food items anymore because it didn't I don't think you needed food items, I can't remember. But it really messed up the meta game when they did that and removed a bunch of stuff. Anyway, Cataclysm was okay. They redone the wall because you could now fly. Lich King, you could only fly in the frozen north. You could fly because it was developed to fly there. Cataclysm, they redid everything to make it where there wasn't a bunch of blank spots in between mountain ranges where you're just like looking at like a glitched out area where there's absolute nothingness. So Cataclysm was needed in the sake that they needed to like tune up the world and like to make it like more friendly to let's say, you know, adding, you know, filling in empty spots in the main areas. But they didn't just do that. They went and they redesigned old areas and made it look different, and then they messed up the lore. They're like, well, you know, people sick of these old quests. Nobody cares about these old quests anymore. So we're just gonna add some stupid thing here that unless you did the false quest when the game released, you know, 5-7 years ago, then you would actually know what's going on. But if you didn't do it, whatever. It's not for you, is how they basically portrayed it. So it really upset a lot of the new players. They're like, I don't understand this, and the new players didn't really know. The old players knew, and that made them upset. It's like, why are these people asking me stupid questions about things that they should know about? Oh god, did I? It's bad. Parking brake. We having issues. Yeah. But anyway, they really messed it up when they added Kung Fu Panda into the game. You'd be the Kung Fu Master Panda. Going all Jack Black on him. Kazow! Anyway, number 9 on the list is RuneScape. RuneScape was a 2001 web browser game. Oh god. Based. Web browser based game. Oh god. And basically you're in a fantasy setting. There's, you know, you can be a wizard, you can be a knight, you could be like a ranger. You had wizard, knight, and ranger, and there's like whatever game rock paper scissors with that stuff. And you had blacksmiths, you had Fletchers making like, it was basically the exact same thing that was in like World of Warcraft like several years later, except it was like on the internet and you could play it for free, but it wasn't like as good. And so it was for like poor kids who had internet and a web and like knew how to access the internet, and that was it. Man, my truck looks nice right now. Okay. It had an in-game economy. It had a bunch of expansions. They did like a Pirates of the Caribbean expansion, but they never called it that because obvious reasons, but that's what it was. We all know it. You could become a pirate. It sucked. What's the quickest thing we got here? Oh god. Yeah, sure, whatever. Shoot through Belgium. Hell, where do we start? We started like, I don't know where. Don't matter. Is that the quickest one? Yeah, that's the quickest one. Anyway, moving on to number 10, we got VR chat. We need this thing solved. Oh, we need this thing solved so bad. VR chat. I really do love VR chat. Not really for talking to people, but just to see what other people have created. VR chat is like virtual chat rooms where everything is created by other players. You have I think everyone really knows what VR chat is nowadays, but it's basically virtual chat rooms that you can use VR headsets designed to walk with VR headsets. They're quite more customizable than, previous chat rooms. There's a lot you can do with, it's all Unity based, and with Unity having so many plugin types, it's quite interesting to see what people can do. I've actually made some of my models compatible with VR chat. Believe it or not, my guy that I got here is my VC face version of Moondog with glasses and tracksuit. But I actually have a VR chat version of him too. That's like super low poly, just like this one. Just, bare minimum. That way, even though it says it's not compatible with Quest, because I have a few other things on it that can cause issues, but it's at the poly count, so. Anyway, VR chat, I really do. I don't want to buy a truck. I need to service my truck. Let's get this thing toned around a bit. But anyway, VR chat, I really do think that's, I want to call it the metaverse. I really, really, really want to call VR chat the metaverse. But the problem with that is VR chat, it's not monetized. And if we're really talking metaverse, what we need for it to be the metaverse, according to Snow Crash, the book that false coined the term metaverse, it's going to be a corporate ran hit a button. Let's just check. I'm checking some vitals for my computer. Anyway, I did it again. I want that one. Not that one. Oop, not that one. This one. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is, there we go. And we can't see it because we ain't got no lights. Boy. VR chat really can't be considered the metaverse because it's not being truly monetized. They're not trying to make money off of it. Where in the book Snow Crash, the metaverse was founded by the corporations to take advantage of people going into the virtual landscape, much like Walmart with Roblox. Mark Zuckerberg thought, well, hell, I'm developing a platform that can access the metaverse. I have a social media site where majority of the earth is logged in. I might as well call it the metaverse. And then he took the name Meta from another company, and then he got sued. The man spent $77 billion of his own money this year. And he is failing. He is marketing so hard, and he is failing. And it's because he doesn't understand the concept of the metaverse. The metaverse, you can be anything. As it said in the book, you could walk out onto the street as your favorite avatar. You could look like a dragon, a purple dragon, or a fiery purple dragon, or whatever, and you could be walking along, and you could walk past a dick and balls. The metaverse, you can be anything, and in VR chat, you can be anything. I walked into a chat room. I turned the corner. There was an 18-foot tall werewolf, tits out, hung 3 feet nearly to the ground. And when I say hung 3 feet nearly to the ground, I wasn't talking about the tits. That was really bad. It wasn't a woman. And I ain't talking about the guy behind the avatar either, because that was a woman. It was a woman player, but the avatar was a little of both. So, you gotta be... That was the metaverse. That sheer madness of anyone being anything they want to be in a world where they could go anywhere. Into anyone else's imaginations of what anyone else made. That is the basis of the metaverse. You ain't gonna go into the metaverse and not be offended. You can't go on Facebook and not be offended. And look at the regulations they put on that. They can't get what they want when it comes to what they're trying to do. But anyway, that's why VR chat's on my number 10. Honorable mentions. Oh god, there's so many I can't even. Honorable mentions takes up a whole page. And there's no double space, no annotations. There's just 30 games. We ain't even gonna cover that today. So to put it, summarize my top 10 game list, or to categorize, number 1, Minecraft. Number 2, the PlanetSide franchise. PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2. Number 3, Untoned. Number 4, The Sims on console. For PlayStation 2, there was The Sims Busting Out, The Sims 2, The Sims 2 Castaway. Handheld on Game Boy Advance was Sims Busting Out and the old Sims in the City. Moving to number 5, we had Portal franchise with Portal 1 and Portal 2. Number 6 was Fable: The Lost Chapters. There was number 7 was Bushido Blade for the PlayStation 1. Number 8 was World of Warcraft. Number 9 was RuneScape. And number 10 was VR Chat. So, anyway, I think we're going to be calling it here. If anyone made it this far, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for watching. So, goodbye.